So let's start with J.R. Worsley. Honestly, when I first heard about five element acupuncture, I thought, okay, another branch of Chinese medicine, right? But it's so much more. His approach wasn't just about technique, it was this entire philosophy woven into how we see the world.
Exactly. Worsley wasn't just another practitioner, he was a pioneer who reframed acupuncture through the lens of universal principles. What struck me the most was how he connected individuals' health, their mental, physical, and even spiritual state, to these larger natural cycles. It's a holistic approach that resonates across so many disciplines.
Right. And that's where chi comes in, doesn't it? This idea of a vital force animating, well, everything, people, nature, even those moments of calm or chaos we feel. It's like the glue holding everything together.
Exactly. Qi, or qi as it's sometimes called, is foundational to this system. It's not just physical energy, it's more nuanced. It's the interplay of subtle forces that maintain balance. Imagine it as the thread connecting the tangible and the intangible, the seen and the unseen. And when qi flows uninterrupted, harmony exists.
But when it's out of whack, that's when the trouble starts, right? Blocked energy, imbalances. It's like a ripple effect.
Precisely, and that's where the five elements come into play. They serve as frameworks to help diagnose and treat those disturbances: wood, fire, earth, metal, water. They're not just physical states, but like archetypes for understanding behavior and natural phenomena.
You know, that reminds me of something. So many cultures have these elemental systems, right? Like the Greek four elements or even the Hindu tattvas. It's fascinating how no matter where you go, people seem to search for patterns like these to make sense of life.
Absolutely. It's the human experience distilled into universal truths. Each element in Worsley's system also connects to specific organs, emotions, and even seasons. So the elements aren't static, they're relational. They thrive in balance with one another.
And Worsley didn't just look at this academically, did he? I mean, he was diving into the real lived experiences of people, understanding how these concepts showed up in their daily lives.
Correct. He observed minute details, the tone in someone's voice, their posture, even their color. It wasn't just about physical symptoms. It was about identifying the causative factor, the root imbalance driving their disharmony. That's what made his approach revolutionary.
And the five elements are like a map for that, right? They show us how everything interconnects.
Exactly, a dynamic map at that. And these relationships within the elements are so intricate. It's not just about understanding them in isolation, it's about looking at how they interact and influence one another.
And speaking of those dynamic relationships, let's talk about Sheng and Ke. From what I've read, they really outline how the elements support and regulate each other, like nature's own operating manual.
That's actually a good way to put it. The Sheng cycle is the process of nourishment, how one element supports and generates the next. For instance, wood feeds fire, fire creates earth, earth produces metal, and so on. It's this beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Right, but then there's the Ki cycle, which balances it all out. It's like the breaks in the system, yeah?
Exactly. The K cycle is controlling or regulating those interactions. For example, water controls fire or earth controls water. Without it, the Sheng cycle would spiral out of control. It's a duality, creation and constraint working in harmony.
It's kind of wild how this mirrors everything, though, like ecosystems, relationships, even societies. You've got creation, growth, and then you've got checks and balances.
Absolutely. The five elements are as much about internal balance as they are about external, and this dynamism extends into the 12 officials, which are these archetypes representing different functions of the body, like systems within systems.
Okay, so the 12 officials, wait, are we talking organs or is this more metaphorical?
Both. Take the heart, for example. It's called the emperor, governing emotion and consciousness. Then you have the liver, known as the general, overseeing strategy and vision. Each official not only has a physical function, but also a symbolic and emotional role.
Whoa, so it's like our bodies have their own government structure with officials managing the chaos.
Precisely. And when one official is off balance, it can throw the whole system into disarray, much like poor leadership in an organization. Worsley's approach captures this interdependence, emphasizing the subtle cues that indicate where harmony's been disrupted.
And this connects back to modern systems thinking, right? Like how everything in a network is connected, whether it's a healthcare system or a team project. If one part falters, the ripple effects begin.
Precisely. That concept of interconnectedness isn't new. Ancient texts like the Neijing explore it in depth. They talk about how elements within systems not only work together, but also depend on clarity and purpose to maintain balance.
And that's where your study of the Neijing comes in. Yeah. What's something you've learned there that feels especially applicable here?
One concept that stands out is the idea of observing subtle patterns. In acupuncture, it's not just about symptoms, it's about what the body is whispering, what it hints at beneath the surface. The same applies to life. Sometimes the smallest, quietest imbalances indicate larger systemic issues.
Like ripples before a storm.
Exactly. And those ripples, when understood, can guide us back to balance, whether it's within ourselves, the environment, or in how we approach relationships and work.
It's all connected. Man, I love how there's just layer after layer here. Speaking of those subtle patterns we were just diving into, let's talk about the causative factor. From what I understand, this is really the crux of Worsley's diagnosis, getting to the root of the issue instead of just slapping a Band-Aid on the symptoms, right?
Exactly. The causative factor, or CF, is about identifying the core imbalance that disrupts a person's health. Worsley believed that by treating this root cause, you could restore overall harmony, mind, body, and spirit.
It's kind of wild when you think about it. I mean, how often do we look for the underlying problem in our lives, whether it's in health, relationships, or honestly anything? We get so stuck on fixing surface level stuff.
That's the challenge. Worsley's method required an extraordinary level of attention, not just to symptoms, but to the subtle clues the body gives us. It's almost like listening to a quiet whisper in a noisy room.
Like the details behind the obvious, that resonates with me so much. You know, when I'm in the field photographing someone's story, it's not just the big dramatic moments that matter. It's the little things, the tension in their hands, where their eyes linger. Those subtleties tell the real story.
Absolutely. Subtlety is key. Worsley noted things like tone of voice, the way someone carries themselves, even their choice of words. It wasn't just a physical assessment. It was an emotional and spiritual one. That's where mindfulness comes in.
Mindfulness, yeah, that's huge. Like you've got to be present, right? You can't just rush through diagnosis like it's a checklist. You've got to feel it out.
Exactly. It's about being fully present, tuned into the moment. In fact, Worsley's approach to diagnosis feels a lot like the art of photography. You're looking for what's just outside the frame, interpreting what's beyond the immediate image.
That's such a great analogy. And honestly, I think that level of awareness is what keeps us grounded. It's like when I've photographed people overcoming unimaginable odds, their resilience isn't just about physical survival. It's something deeper, a harmony they find within themselves.
Exactly. That resilience reflects the same internal balance Worsley aimed to restore. And what's fascinating is how this philosophy can intersect with modern tools. For example, I've seen innovations that integrate biometric data with traditional acupuncture principles, combining ancient wisdom with cutting-edge technology.
Wait, really? Like actual tech backing these ideas?
Absolutely. We're talking about AI systems trained to detect subtle changes in a person's energy patterns, offering data-driven insights that align with the 5-element framework. It's a beautiful synergy, science validating what ancient practices already knew.
That's amazing. I mean, it's like everything's coming full circle. Old meets new, tradition meets innovation. But at the heart of it, it's still about understanding ourselves, finding balance.
That's exactly it. Balance isn't static, it's dynamic. It shifts and evolves as we do. Worsley's legacy reminds us that healing isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about cultivating harmony, one subtle change at a time.
And on that note, I think we've got a lot to chew on, understanding ourselves, finding that harmony. It's not just about acupuncture, it's life.
Well said. And with that, I think we'll leave our listeners to reflect. Thanks for joining us on this journey through Worsley's wisdom.
Yeah, it's been great. Until next time, take care and keep finding your balance.